And hello everyone, I'm another Trekyards mission briefing, your weekly Wednesday dose of Starship goodness. It can be anything from a space station to a spaceship to a ship to a space. What are we doing today, Stuart? Didn't go anywhere, did it, Stuart? That was a pretty bad intro by me. What are we doing today, Stuart?
Today we're doing a spaceship.
Yes, shuttle.
Because we always do spaceship.
Shuttle.
And this is, well, it's still a spaceship. It's a ship in space. But yeah, it's a shuttle.
Yeah.
Small shuttle.
Yes.
It's Janeway's shuttle from Endgame. So a futuristic shuttle. Yeah.
Well, see, the funny thing is, you sort of ended the end of the sentence there because we don't know much about it. That's the joke about this. But I will say I'm very proud to be doing this episode because, as you guys expect, it's the original model of the SC-4 Janeway shuttle as used in Endgame. You never got to see it in high def. You never got to see certain angles. I love this design. I'll say it straight out the gate. I love this design. So I'm really happy to be able to do this episode on this very unique shuttle. Or is it unique? Or is it not unique? But what do you think? What was your first impression when you saw the ship in Endgame?
Well, one of the first things I thought when I saw this was it's just a Type 9 shuttle, like the one that the speedboat shuttle, as they call it. So I didn't think it was very unique or original. So, and I haven't seen it compared with the speedboat shuttle, so I don't know how different it actually is.
We did see in the episode a shot where I think they're in the same shuttle bay, but you really never get a sense of, as we can do in the show, just do another render of them together. So you sort of just, I guess, shrugged it off like, oh, it's just a very slightly future shuttle then.
Yeah, I just figured it was like a slightly more advanced version of what we'd seen, which makes sense for the time period it is. Yeah. I mean, it's brief, an evolution of the design, so...
Although I think it's like 20-ish years, 15-ish years between end of... Well, I guess Speedboat is already on Voyager, so it's already 7 years old. Then you've got the jump for them to get home, and then you've got them developing for Admiral Janeway. So it's a good 30 years old, potentially. But you look at the evolution between the shuttle pods we see in TNG, the small box ones, to the Speedboat. You would actually think there'd be more evolution in a short amount of time. But obviously, this is a Voyager show. They stylistically show it. When I saw Endgame, I love Endgame. I thought it was a wonderful finale. Just the VFX, the time travel, and I love the future tech. We love ships. That's a great ship and tech episode. And I always thought this was a cool shuttle because the armor, which I'm sure we'll do a full episode on later, and I'm really excited about that one. But I liked this because it's like the Prometheus of the shuttles. It is that point, but it's not too far. I like the new paint. I like the curve of the canopy. That always sang very well with me. It wasn't just a box. It was something much more elegant, and yet more detailed. Like the top of the. Again, I've seen them compared, so I know the differences. Stuart, I'm sorry.
Well, I've never taken the time to put two side by side. I don't just use my memory, but this one from this view looks a lot narrower. It looks more pointy, I guess. And there's obviously differences in the nacelle. There's kind of like a fin added there, which gives it more of a hydrodynamic look, like something that would be in water. So it just enhances the speedboat look.
Hadn't thought about that. That's genius. So Stuart, do you want to see the two ships side by side?
No. Okay,
and that is it for the speedboat. No, the SC-4. Wow, Freudian slip there. No, the next picture is the canon model to scale of the Type 9 speedboat shuttle and the SC-4 from Endgame. Reaction, Stuart?
Okay, we know how big the Voyager shuttle bay is. It's not very big. You know what I'm saying? So, like, did the Delta Flyer and a Type 9 shuttle decide to get it on one night and have a baby?
Yes, that's exactly.
Because that's exactly what it looks like.
I hadn't thought that, but the top. Wow, yeah, actually.
Yeah, and the filled-in back part with more cabin room in back there.
Oh, you cheeky son of a! I had not even seen that until. Yeah, take out the nacelles.
Yep.
Ooh. Huh.
And it's got the more aggressive point, just like the Delta Flyer. Only it doesn't have the funky Art Deco kind of cool window. But hey.
Yeah. Well, if anything, that makes the most sense possible. They designed Delta Flyer. It was a superb shuttle / auxiliary craft. Why not integrate that hyper shell into future designs? I mean, they've got home. Everything they've been through has been recorded and shown to the Federation.
And you got to think too that the Delta Flyer had the retractable warp nacelles and all that jazz. So that takes up a lot of room internally. If you want to get more room, just again put the nacelles on the outside, which is basically the Federation standard, and you open up all that extra internal room for whatever else you need. So,
well, this is obviously still quite a small shuttle. I mean, this is the Type F is not a big ship.
No.
But this is a decent size bigger. I mean, it's gone from being cramped to less cramped. I wouldn't say comfortable, but well, I mean, the thing is, they use the exact same internal set. I know because they had one internal set for the shuttle. This is they. Do you think it could have 2 rooms? Is there enough back?
No.
No?
I don't actually. I think there's probably the pilot seat, and then like 2. Maybe 1 or 2 other seats in the back that might not be quite as roomy as the Delta Flyer. I don't think, but I don't think there'd be enough room for all that back there.
Well, it's just I'm thinking back to the episode, and there is a decent back cabin space, even in the Type 9, and this is at least double that.
I'm trying to remember from the episode. I can't recall that, to be honest.
Yeah, well,
I have to go watch it again.
Well, then again, the extra armor. I mean, we see it take on a Negvar. Yes, with the ablative armor, but to be confident enough to take on a Negvar defensively, that says something major. But stylistically, though, what do you think in terms of the differences? Obviously, I've got lots of comparative angles here that show all different angles, but the top is a great one to show the I guess the pointiness, the new pointiness. I mean, I guess I'll start. The engines, my God, are they pointy? Wow.
Absolutely, they're very reminiscent of the Sovereign class kind of nacelles.
Okay, yeah.
With the split down the middle.
Yes. Well, it's funny now you've said that the speedboat shuttles look like Enterprise D nacelles, like almost part and parcel. Actually, I never noticed. I probably should notice that, but I never noticed that. So yeah, it's like an evolution there. I really like the new impulse engines. They're basically Delta Flyer, they're Delta Flyer impulse engines rather than the Prometheus, rather than Intrepid impulse engines for the Type 9. I like that a lot. Yeah, it's a neatly integrated Delta Flyer Mark 7 shuttle thing. Huh.
I never really considered that it looked this much different than the Type 9 though. I always thought it was just the same with the same like negative space in the back,
but pointed a bit more.
Yeah. I never really noticed all these differences, and now that you have the models, I mean, it's like, wow.
Trekyards, that's what we're here for. Now again, what a pleasure to bring both these studio assets, because like I say, you've never seen the shuttle in high def, and these are all in high def. So
one thing I noticed too is like it almost has a Nebula class style pod on top, which could be an extra sensor pod.
It's pretty thin though. It's basically the same as what the current shuttle has, just more detailed.
Yeah. Because
the interesting thing about this, and you'll see it in the later on pictures slightly better, is that the Type 9 shuttle 3D model was built earlier in the run of the show, and it wasn't going to be a hero ship. It was never really utilised, bar leaving a shuttle bay and then fast. Whereas this new SC-4 was the hero ship in a lot of shots, where it is the primary ship, and it was built at the very last few months of the show. The details are a lot higher, and you can tell if you go to the next picture. In fact, it's not the same geometry. This is a scratch-built model. I know Rick designed a new shuttle. This is a scratch-built new model, a lot higher detail, a lot. There was some what's the best way of saying it? Some shortcuts taken with the Type 9. This one, not so much, which I really like. I think you can tell it just feels a bit more. And I have a bit more custom 3D modelling now, but just a bit more. Anyway, but yeah, what do you think about the side view? And yeah.
Again, looking at it from the side, I wouldn't think it was that much different than the Type 9, because you can't see that negative space in the back, right? Now, I do notice that the deflector grid line they have on that is very reminiscent of the Voyager. The back end of this shuttle looks a lot like Voyager. Well, I wouldn't call it the neck. Sloping down to the secondary hull. That kind of curve.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I never noticed that before. And also the pennant with the extra little things added to the Delta. I like that a lot. That's cool.
Yeah, they always stood out to me for some reason. Just the colours, the blue.
I never noticed.
I always I love the armor tech with absolute passion. So this one stood out to me because this is Voyager obviously was a retrofitted armor. This was Well, I guess it wasn't designed for armor. I mean, armor isn't so much a shield as devices you attach to a hull which gives the ship armor. You know, it isn't. This ship is a shuttle. They gave it armor. You know, you can definitely see the engines here. I mean, they really are just TNG nacelles. Wow, okay, and the other ones really are Prometheus. I mean, those front portions are very. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they were resized Prometheus nacelles, honestly, or at least ripped out versions. I think they would build them from scratch, but it certainly has that vibe. But I really like that the new points, yet smoother points. Like the Type 6 has quite blunt points. This has very smooth points, and I really dig it as an evolution.
To be honest, I prefer the Type 9 shuttle from this side view. Just the way that the front is shaped, it's not quite as pointy, and I don't know. I just prefer it. I like the curve in the back at the top, as opposed to the more Intrepid style.
I will always join you with that bias. That's the Voyager shuttle. You know, but I like this one too, and I really like how the cockpit is. I much prefer the window than the Type 9. It's just sort of blocky in there. This one's much nicer integrated. And it feels more there. Or in fact, actually, little detail. If you look at the left-hand side of the window, there are those little stripes, which Rick Sternbach told us on the Prometheus were armor. They were like, because I mean, wouldn't you need armor for the cockpit? They're just like magnetic armor strip things that reinforce. I mean, that's sure, put them there. Why not?
Yeah. Cool. Next shot is from the front, and here again, it's very similar to the Type 9. That's why I think, I didn't look at it in too much detail when I watched the episode, so I thought this was very similar to a Type 9. Unless you see it from the top, really, you don't see the differences.
See, I think it looks quite different. I'm surprised you keep saying that, because, there's so many differences. I mean, stylistically, it's the same shuttle, just with different shapes. I mean, it's obviously stylistically meant to be the same ship, but the engine's different, the curves are different, it's got new bits and pieces and, smoother angles, and it's a refined shuttle. It's the next step. It's very, very well done as the next step, you know? I think.
As a designer, one thing I would change is those struts. I don't like this kind of angle going on. I prefer a straight down, very much like the Delta Flyer look.
Ooh.
I think that would look a little bit nicer than that almost 90-degree angle.
Well, if you go out to the first picture for a second, imagine this exact design but with fins instead of nacelles. How does that look?
I think that would look better.
That would look. It's a Delta Flyer shuttle, one man shuttle.
Or even integrate it and join from the front of the shuttle. Just join it down to the nacelle, and have that be all one wing surface. That would look cool as well.
And again, that's basically a Delta Flyer shuttle. I mean, I think that would take the creative license too far of let's mix the shapes. This is clearly what it's meant to be. If you did that, it would be this weird amalgam of almost like a kit bash. Certainly not a bad thing. One thing I will say, that these are obviously the correct scales, so it is a bit bigger. It is a bit chunkier. There is just everything is just bigger, you know.
It seems like you'd have less pilot space though, because the way the new one curves in like this on the sides, the other one's kind of like this, so it would be a little more cramped, I would think.
I think that's counterbalanced by the fact that the cockpit is bigger itself. I think the space you're gaining by being bigger, you're losing by the angle. But it's only a one-person pilot craft anyway. There is not 2 seats. I don't think. Is there 2 seats? I think there's sometimes 2 seats. This one isn't 2 seats, I think. But I think there has been 2-seat versions. They changed those sets a few times. Anyway, the next pitch is the aft. This is where you said it was the most different, and yeah, I mean, you can see the subtle things like the struts are thinner. Again, odd angle, but I do like the impulse engines are smaller, but I'm sure they're getting more function out of them. They're getting more thrust, bulkier, yet more space. It's just a reformatting the shapes, isn't it?
And you got to think too that there's a lot more internal volume on the new one, just because it does fill in all that space at the back, which you can't really even see from this angle. It looks, I wouldn't necessarily, after seeing this, say that there was that negative space there, but
Well, the next picture, though, is that first picture again, because we want to talk about the armor technology. This shuttle is a cool design itself, but there's two versions of this shuttle. There's the shuttle and armored shuttle. So the next picture, which actually I probably put earlier, is is the reverse shot, and you can see the armor emitters on it. Oh, this is actually quite a cool angle in itself. And you can see that there's a long ass phaser strip on the strut of the wing. I never noticed that ever. That's really cool actually. Huh.
It is cool.
But the next picture then, well, we see the phaser strip at the front, quite heavily armed, and you can see the armor technology, the armor emitter. But Stuart, do you want to see what it looked like with armor? Do you want to see what it looked like?
Yes.
Boom.
See, that's cool.
Now it's got ablative hull armor. That's the same angle, but let's go one more. This is now the exterior, 3/4 the exact same angle. What do you think of the armor?
I love this version of it. I mean, this looks so cool. It takes away a lot of the things I had complaints about with the like the struts. You know, they look bulky and beefed up now and protected.
Yep.
Although it covers the deflector and everything.
It covers everything. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's holographic armor, isn't it? So why couldn't you do sensors through a one-way there's one-way mirrors, so why couldn't you have a one-way hologram? This is advanced tech, guys. I mean, this is well beyond our level of technology. So you've got to assume just the fact they can go to warp with this armor on means that the power between the two nacelles obviously still functions. There's still line of sight even through armor, which is pretty incredible. I will say I talked to Rob about this, Rob Bonshun, so the way the armor was designed is that Rick, we'll do a full episode later on, but Rick Sternbach designed the idea of the armor based on obviously the instructions from he designed the basic idea. I think Pierre Droulet, or one of the models, I think it was Pierre, you have to build a separate model of the armor and then do it in pieces. Like, it is a separate model on top of the first model to allow it to armor up. And then Rob Bonshun, he built the phasing on effect. So it was much of a team effort. There's a lot of creative minds that came together. Rob wishes he'd made the armor a lot more metallic, a lot less matte, more shiny, more sort of shined up. I like this more. I think it feels as if it's absorbing the energy rather than shiny armor. Like, it shouldn't look like metal, because it's not metal, it's an armor. I don't know. That's a little story of the basics.
See, I think shiny would make it look too much like a knight in shining armor kind of thing. When we know that knight's armor was really kind of rough and it's not ceremonial. It's not going to be going to a wedding. It's for use in battle. But
I love just the layering on the top. I mean, it's all pieces, but again, you had to design the pieces. You could have made it one long piece, but the way it's actually quite pretty in its own way. That's weird, but I think it works. And it's funny how they've included the pennant on the edge of the hull, where the old pennant roughly is. They've got armored pennant for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
It's an odd-looking pennant, though.
Well, it's without the stripe, isn't it? But if you go to the next picture, that's it without armor, and then back to the armor, and then back to the shuttle, and then back to the armor, back to the shuttle, and then the aft view with armor. Again, just a wonderful look, and then without armor. So differences, and then the side view, which is the nacelle phaser strips and everything, and then with armor. Beautiful integration. I love the layering of the nacelle, the coils, because it kind of feels like there's actually like space in between them to let the coil emissions come out. Like, it's been armored and it's not flat. It's got its own unique. Yeah.
Yeah, this is really, really cool to see. I've never really looked at it in so much detail.
Yeah, high def. It was never this high def. It's only 720p, guys, but when we do full episode, we might push that a little bit. The next picture is one I want to stick on for a second. This is the bottom view, which is one we literally never got to see. Look at that, it has micro torpedo launchers in the middle of the bottom.
That's neat.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it had that. I don't remember seeing it for the episode, but it does, and I think that's perfectly placed.
Yeah. There's like a blue stripe along the bottom too.
That's cool, isn't it?
Just more like it matches the pennant.
Yeah,
I guess
it's style.
Love how they even included landing pad feet on the nacelles, subtle little touches.
Yeah, and you've got the RCS, you've got the other detail on the bottom of the hull, which is something. I will say that there's no armor strips on the bottom of the hull. Only the top/side ones are enough to armor the whole thing.
So what about that greebly part on the very bottom? Couldn't that be like the main shield emitter though? I mean, it looks similar texture wise, and it's a lot bigger. So it could.
That's interesting. I don't think it is, given that I feel like the armor is designed to be just placed as pads, and if you go back, I guess, to picture 11, the armor is exactly the same design, replicate. I doubt there'd be a central emitter per se, because that'd probably be internal. Otherwise, it doesn't go towards the plug and play nature of the armor. I think it's probably closer to replicate the detail on the top of the ship. It's like a symmetry thing. There's something needed on the bottom, or it's a warp core ejection hatch. I mean, there's things it could be as well. I don't know. But yeah, the next shot is it with armor. There you go, bottom, a view we never saw. And it really bulks out the bottom bit. It takes that fin motif on the side of the hull, actually keeps it going.
Ironically enough, with the armor, this thing could literally be a speedboat of today. Just look at those curves on the bottom of the pontoons, and get this thing. I can see this sipping along the water at top speed.
And would you not want to ride that? Would that not be a cool hot ride?
Yeah, let's do that up. Somebody make a Voyager shuttle
now. Let's do it. Do it.
Do it. And the next shot is. Well, just a comparison of the two again.
But it's a 3/4. We haven't seen them in 3/4 before. Just the feel of them, because they feel different, just a bit.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that, Stuart?
I still like that's the older one better. Yeah. Even the nacelles are a little bit bulkier. I mean, you could change the nacelles on the older one a little bit, but overall, I prefer the older one.
Well, I guess they're Voyager nacelles more than TNG, aren't they? Yeah. Yes.
Although from the top they look very much like the Enterprise Ds.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the Type 9 is a great shuttle. It really is. It's a little bit. This is an old CG model. This is one of the first ones they made, so you can see the texturing's not brilliant. The detail's still pretty good though. One very subtle thing is, I don't know. There's blinkies as on every ship, and there's two green. It's meant to be red and green on one side or the other, and yet. On the SC-3, the red is on the wrong side. Maybe they're both red. Both sides are red. Yeah, both sides are red. So there's no longer a red and a green. There's just a red and a red.
That's odd.
That is odd. I wonder why. And you would never notice that from the show. Because why the hell would you? Again, Trekyards. That's why we're here, to tell you which blinkies are different. Yeah.
That's our sole purpose.
It's our sole purpose. Anyway, but the last picture is the first picture is the beautiful 3/4. One thing I was going to say in the last one, I really like the side, I guess, fin that comes out on the hull with the yellow glow. It adds a bit of life to it, adds a bit more colour. I really dig that. It's very much Defiant-y, is runabouty, is something a T, all the T's. But I really think that works. What does it do in the runabout again? We just talked to Rick about this. What does it do? It
I don't
a supercharger. It was either a supercharger or taking a matter. I think it was one of those things. You're watching the episode when we talk about it because we've already done it, but that we do a lot of episodes. But yeah, Stuart, closing thoughts on the SC-4 shuttle.
Or so Admiral. Janeway's armored shuttle. Yes. Admiral Janeway's shuttle. I like it. Again, it's a great evolution from the Type 9 shuttlecraft, but I prefer the Type 9, as I've said a few times. I never realized that there were this many differences. I actually literally thought there was just maybe new nacelles slapped on to the Type 9, and then the armor, of course. So, I mean, the armored version looks incredibly cool. I really love that. I dig that. But as for the standard shuttle, I prefer the older one.
I will say this is what I was looking forward to since the start of the show, just the idea of it. And obviously when we started the show in whichever year we did, the idea of having the models was laughable. Why would we? And I remember looking around for a fan version of this because we used British Command models a lot, and I couldn't find one. I was kind of, hence why it never went on the radar. And then, these years later, here we are looking at the original one rendered by me, looking damn good. And like I said, I'm very proud to bring that to you all because I like Endgame. I like it a lot. I like the Armored Voyager. I like it. And it is worth noting that those out you might say, oh, you're missing a detail. There's normally a top pod right on the very top of the pointy bit, which is the time device thing. Yeah, no, that's the time device she steals. The shuttle was never designed to have that, nor the armor. So those are added extras. We're not going to talk about those because they're added extras. It's a separate episode if you want, but it's not meant to have those.
Sounds like a fact file episode.
It does. Well, we have a 3D model of that as well, so we can show everyone the high detail of that model. Because it was on the shuttle in 3D, so we've got it in 3D.
Sweet.
Time. And there we go, guys, Stuart, everyone, that is it for this episode on Trekyards Briefing on the type this thingy shuttle. The future shuttle, which I totally would want in my back garden. I would fly this around. It's pretty cool.
Sweet.
All right, then.
I'm getting there. Good. All right, guys. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We've always got lots of great stuff. And we have these awesome assets that Samuel has got. And he does fantastic renders. So if you know anybody that's interested in Star Trek and might not know about us, please share us around on all your social media.
Yep.
Let's spread the word out there for Trekyards.
We need your help in that, guys. We do.
Yeah, that would really help us out. And even clicking the like button and definitely subscribe. Just, it all helps. It's all analytics and YouTube and...
The YouTube, yeah. But if you want to support us off of YouTube, then there's two amazing ways. Either Patreon, which is our monthly donation service. You give something a month, 5, 10, 15, $1, whatever, a cup of coffee a month. I mean, we can all afford a cup of coffee a month to help us keep the lights on and bring these lost assets to you guys in new resolutions and new details, learning new things. There's so many things we've learned on the show just from looking at these models, and it's amazing to be able to do that. But we need your support, financial support, to be able to keep going and ensure that we can keep upping the game, upping the quality, doing more renders. It is up to you guys to help us. And we want to do more. Don't we always want to do more, Stuart? We want to up our game.
But absolutely. We're always coming up with new ideas and new concepts, and we just want to be able to implement those for you guys.
Or a one-time donation over at trekyards.com. If you've got the spare $35, send it our way, and we will absolutely put it to good use. So thank you so much in advance, and I guess until next time, guys, he is the one and only Captain Foley.
And of course, he is the clone of the original Commander Calkins, who I happened to kill. So you don't even know that there was more than one of them. So, but now there's one, I guess, it's a clone. But anyway, Commander Calkins, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.